Hello, my name is Dr. David Boatright, and I want to take you on a little tour of honors chemistry. Before I talk about the class, I just want to give you a little bit of background on me. I was born in Kansas City, Missouri. I attended the University of Missouri where I got my BS in chemistry, and then I moved south and went to Georgia Tech to get my PhD in physical organic chemistry. After graduation, I taught at the university level for 19 years. I taught at Kennesaw State for 2 years, University of West Georgia for 16 years. Then my wife and I moved up here to this area. So I taught for 1 year at the University of North Georgia and then decided I wanted to switch to high school. So for the past 2 years, I have taught at Cambridge High School. The expectations I have for your students for honors chemistry is number one, that they attend class each day. It is extremely important for them to be there as we are learning the new material, for them to have the opportunity to ask questions as we are going over it, so to make sure they understand completely, and just to be engaged in the class. About 2 times a week, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, I will be posting some online homework, and I also expect them to get in and do that homework. It is not extensive. It's set for usually less than about 30 minutes, but it's very important that they put practice to the chemistry that we are learning. Chemistry is best understood when you put pencil to paper. So the more problems they're working out, the more things they're trying to figure out, struggle through on their own, the better they're going to grasp these concepts, and the better foundation they have for me to be able to build on as we continue on to new material. And it's also extremely important for them as we're in class to ask questions as we're going along, because I really need them to understand it as we go. And as most students are, they're reluctant to ask questions. But I want to clear up any misconceptions as we're going through it, rather than them trying to figure things out on their own later. So I really encourage questions in class, but even more importantly, as they're studying outside of class, whenever that may be, I ask them to reach out to me and ask their questions. I am more than happy to respond to them at any time. However, there will be a certain part of the night where I become unavailable, so I will get back to them as soon as I can, but I do encourage them to ask me questions at any time. There are 2 main ways that I will communicate with the students, and I ask that they communicate with me. First is what I consider to be the simplest and easiest way to do it, and that's remind. I have found that students respond to that so much faster than an email, and so I really encourage them to sign up for Remind. And I think most of them have, but please make sure that your student has, and you're more than welcome to sign up for that too. I will not use it to any great extent, just for some quick announcements, to remind them of something that may be happening the next day, or to check on them, multiple ways, but I will not do extensive things on there. I will also encourage them to check their school email frequently. That's the easiest way we have to communicate to everybody in the class at one time. And so they really need to be encouraged to be checking the school email multiple times a day. So I hope you are doing that. Navigating through our class, it's all done on Microsoft Teams for the most part. I have put on there a channel that is for our lesson plans only, and that is where I load the lesson plans up each week. Those are tentative plans, and so they are subject to change depending on the pace we take in any given day. If they change extensively, then I will go in and edit them, but for the most part, we're going to stick to those schedules as best we can. Also, we have lecture days, and when I do that, I will be using PowerPoint, and I will be recording it much like I'm doing now. And then I will post that in the general channel on the post tab, and the students and you can access these at any time. I post them as soon as they become available to me, so they're generally on there within a few minutes after class. Also in Teams, I will be posting assignments, and this is where they can find in the class notebook. That's where I will be posting a lot of the materials they need, handouts, maybe some practice sheets for them to work on. So Teams is really our place to go, and class notebook tab is where most of that material will be. The main site outside of Teams that we'll be using is the OWL online homework. There's a sync tab. The app image you see there is on the class link, and that's how they get to it. All of the students have gotten into their OWL homework, this online site, so I don't think you have to worry about that too much. These are just a snapshot of some of the assignments that I've already posted for this year, and I will be continuing to add to those. As I stated before, I usually do 2 or 3 a week, depending on how much material we cover, and they're usually with less than 30 minutes time, but I really need them to be working on that. So I hope that you are encouraging them to do that, and I hope that they are doing it. In closing, I just want to put my contact information up there. That's my email address, so you can email me if you have any questions or need further information about anything. And also, Remind is another way to reach out to me, so please feel free to do that. That's also the 2 ways that I encourage the students to reach out to me. I know that in this environment, it's extremely difficult, and I'm sure the students feel like they are on their own to learn this material, but that is far from the truth. If they are struggling with anything, if they need help with anything, they can reach out to me at any time, and I will do anything and everything I can to help them as they progress through honors chemistry. As I stated before, I hope we get face-to-face soon, but until then, this is how we're doing it, and so I just really hope we can make the best of it, and I look forward to a great year and hopefully meeting all of you at some point. Thank you very much for your time.